When it comes to weightlifting, there are so many variables that need to be accounted for, like the weight that you should be using, the number of sets you should do, and of course, the rep range you should be lifting at. And that's what we're discussing today, rep ranges. And take it from me, someone who's made the mistake of simply not understanding rep ranges the first few years of lifting. Don't make the same mistakes I did. So let's get right into this. So when it comes to weightlifting, there will be different rep ranges that will be best suited for your specific goal. And those three goals that we're going to focus on today are 1, hypertrophy, also known as muscle growth, 2, strength training, and 3, muscular endurance. If you're someone with a goal of toning muscle, focusing on the rep range might not be the best thing for you. And stay tuned to the end. I'll give you a little bit more guidance and push you in the right direction so you have a better understanding on how to tone. Now, besides that point, I want to focus on this idea of most optimal range. Now, if you're training for strength, you'll still see some hypertrophy benefits. And if you're training for hypertrophy, you'll still see strength benefits. The point of this video is to help you better understand rep ranges that will fit your goal and allow you to utilize your time more efficiently. In the weightlifting world, rep ranges have always thought to be very rigid. And this graph here is going to explain exactly how it was viewed and how we should actually view it. In blue here, we can see the strength rep range. Now, this is how it was originally thought to be. Very effective in that 1 to 6 rep range and then dramatically drop off. Hypertrophy rep ranges are shown in red, a similar rigid rep range with 7 to 15 being the best for hypertrophy. And in white here, we see muscular endurance, which is pretty much the opposite of strength, with low effectiveness until around 12-ish reps and it climbs quickly. So let's take a quick look at some data on strength and hypertrophy. There seems to be a pretty well-established consensus that lower reps do lead to better strength gains, and we can see the study that I sourced here in the description that lifting heavier loads close to failure or stopping shy of failure both yield better strength gains. Although there are still strength gains seen in those using higher reps and lower weights, although it is less, and a more accurate depiction on how this graph maybe should look is something like this, where there is less of a drop-off, but still the most effective range is lower reps. Next, we can look at hypertrophy. In a Greg Nuckols systematic review that reviewed 13 studies, found some discrepancies. Some studies showed that lower reps were best for hypertrophy, some showed the opposite, that higher reps were best. Although at the end of the day, there was a trend for best rep range, and I think Greg Nuckols says this best here. The hypertrophy range of roughly 6 to 15 reps per set may produce slightly better results per unit of time invested than lower reps and higher rep work. However, on the whole, the advantage you get from working within the hypertrophy rep range isn't nearly as big as some people may think, maybe a 10 to 15% advantage per unit of effort invested at most. So this type of a graph might be a better representation, where you can see the red hypertrophy line doesn't drop off on both ends like we thought it did. When it comes to muscular endurance, similar to strength gains, there's an accepted scientific consensus, although the studies that I did read didn't seem to be definitively clear. Similar to strength, it's not quite as accurate as originally thought, and this might be a more accurate representation of muscular endurance. To sum this up, for strength and endurance, it seems pretty clear, but for hypertrophy, it might make more sense to mix in some sets outside of your normal rep range. This type of a training theory does seem to have some merit, although you can apply this data how it best fits you. Now, I do want to give some guidance for individuals who are trying to become more toned. Now, the idea of becoming more toned is essentially reducing body fat percentage over top of the muscle so the muscle can be more predominant. So this will essentially be a weight loss phase, trying to reduce body fat percentage. So it's kind of hard to pick a rep range. There's really no rep range. It's essentially a weight loss phase. What I recommend to a lot of clients of mine is 1, establish maybe a 3 to 6 month window where you try to build muscle, and then a 3 to 6 month window where you try to reduce body fat percentage. Having that will allow you to build a little muscle and then to cut down so you have more muscle to show. If you guys want me to try to do a full-length video on that, let me know in the comments and I will try to get to that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found value, hit that like button, consider subscribing, hitting all the buttons. If you want to watch another video, one of these up here, one of these corners, we'll have one, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.